Hey friend, welcome to On the Daily. I'm your host, Danielle McCleary, and I am a quantum business coach. I'm the host of this podcast. I'm a multi-six-figure entrepreneur, co-founder and president of HypeU Media, and CEO of Danielle on the Daily Coaching. What I'm really interested in is helping you live a life and have a business that is a full body yes. So through all of my education and all of my experience, I'm bringing you 2 episodes a week where I will guide you and give you the tools necessary to scale a massive, sustainable, and sexy business using your intuition, wealth energetics, and human design. What we can call it is business biohacking. So if you're down for that, then I say let's frickin' go. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, friend. Welcome back to the show. This is Danielle, your host. Happy almost New Year. We are almost there. It's almost 2023. We've made it. I still don't understand how we've already made it to 2023 when it feels like 2022 started yesterday, but here we are. Listen, today I'm going to talk about a few different things. One of those things is the fact that we are starting a new year, and I think there's a lot of stress and pressure around New Year's and New Year's resolutions and all the crap. And then what happens is we just end up failing by February. And I know why, or at least I think I know why that happens. So I'm going to share that with you today. And then we're going to talk about the 3 things that I think you should leave in 2022 to never, ever be seen or heard from again. So buckle up because we're diving deep today. Okay, the hierarchy of change. I've talked about this a few times on this show, but it's a really good thing to talk about at the end of the year, going into a new year, so that you can have the most awesomely aligned start to your year that you possibly can. So, okay, I want you to think about what normally happens at the beginning of the year. So what I've witnessed and what I've also done in the past is I'll say I'm going to get in shape. Okay, let's just use that one. It's an easy one. I'm going to get in shape in the new year. So what most people do, and I've been here, so if you're like, ooh, she has my number, don't worry, I have your number because I had my number first. So what most people will do is they will, if they want to get in shape, what they're going to do first is they're going to go buy new gym clothes. They're probably going to clear out their house of all the junk food from the holidays. They're probably going to get a gym membership or a personal trainer. They're going to invest in something. And what they're hoping is that by making all of those changes to their environment, that their belief structure will change and their abilities and their capabilities will change, which ultimately will lead to a shift in lifestyle or a change, right? And I don't think that works, because that is when we talk about the hierarchy of change. If you were to look at it on a piece of paper, it looks like a pyramid, right? And the very top, you have identity shift. And then the next little triangle down, you have beliefs and values. Then you have capabilities. Then you have actions. Then you have environment. And so what a lot of people do is they work that pyramid when they go to make big shifts in their life. And you can tell me if you do this, but a lot of people will work from the bottom up. So they'll change their environment and their actions, and then that hopefully will change their capabilities and their abilities, and then it'll change their value system, and then it'll change who they are. And I just don't think that works. I think that the hierarchy of change, the way that it really works is if we shift from the top down. So you actually have to change your identity first. So I'll give you an example, and then you tell me if this works. If you have a goal in the new year, or something that you're really trying to accomplish in the new year, try this and see if it works and let me know. But I think you got to change your identity first. So if my goal in the new year is if my goal in 2023 is to become, to start earning 5 figures a month, right? So let's say you're trying to hit that 5-figure a month threshold, right? So you've been hitting the 4-figure, multi 4 figures. You can replace this goal with any goal you have, but let's say you're trying to hit that 5-figure mark. I want to earn at least $10,000 a month, that coveted 10K a month. I'm going to earn that. I think you have to change the identity first. So if I'm a 10,000 per month earner, if my business is bringing in $10,000 a month, who am I? what do I believe in? What do I value? So now I'm working my way down that pyramid and I'm going into values. Well, if I'm a 10,000 a month earner, I value money. I value boundaries. I definitely will have to have more boundaries which means that if I value boundaries and I value like personal time, I value people a lot. I value time a lot. I believe in teamwork because, nobody gets to 10,000 on their own. You gotta make sure that you have a good support system around you. So those are the things I believe in. So like, okay, well then I'm just going to start believing in those things now. I'm going to start valuing those things now. Right? I'm going to value investment. I'm going to value mentorship because if I'm going to be earning at least $10,000 a month, I'm probably in a coaching program. I probably I definitely like have a mentor of some kind. So I am going to start to value those things now. Great. Okay. So I've started to value and change the way that I think and what I believe in and what I value because I believe that I am this person. Great. So by believing in those things and by changing your values, now you're probably capable. If you're a person who earns $10,000 a month and you value money and investments, then what are you probably capable of? You're probably capable of investing. You're probably capable of spending money on things that will better your business. You're probably good at saving your money and not overspending it and not worrying about the other shoe falling. If it's values that you care about and that you believe in because you are a 10,000 per month earner, well then you're probably capable of setting boundaries. You're probably capable of saying no when it's not a full body yes, right? Those are things that you're probably now capable of. And if those are the things that you're capable of, and if you're setting boundaries and you're saying no when it's no longer serving you, when you're, investing in the right things and saving your money and not worrying about the other shoe falling, well, then your actions are going to change, right? You're going to move through life a little bit differently. You by default are going to probably like clean up your space. You're probably going to clean up your circle. You're probably going to clean up your finances and you're going to, make sure that you have a good system of communication, the action steps, right? The things in your environment, right? Those things will naturally change because if you are that person, then they'll naturally change. And then you will become that $10,000 per month earner. So do you see how I did that? I just kind of like flipped the hierarchy of change upside down. And if you change who you are, right? If you change your identity first, then you can't fail. Because what a lot of people do is they'll work their way up that pyramid and then they get to like beliefs and actions and they're like, yeah, but I don't really believe that. Well, yeah, because you never became that person. How can you believe something if you don't become that person? But Danielle, I can't become that person if I'm not actually in shape or if I'm not actually earning 10,000 per month. Right. It is a belief around identity. It's acting as if, in a sense, you kind of have to do that in order to actually become that person. So I don't know, try it out, see if it works. I mean, once I learned this and this is how I started to like work through my life and my days, man, like everything changed. Like my whole business shifted and I went from 5 figures to multi 5 figures to 6 figures per month, like pretty quickly when I really shifted this identity because I was able to like really understand what it was that I was trying to accomplish because I could see through the lens of the person who was accomplishing it instead of just like doing all the things to prep me to get there, but then actually still not believing that I could. So in order to change your identity, that means you believe that you can be that person. And that I think is the first step to any of this work, is believing that you are that person that can achieve those things. So that's the hierarchy of change. Take that into the new year with you and see how it feels. 3 things that you should leave in 2022 and never talk to them, hear from them, or see them again. I know you're interested in this one. You're like, oh man, what is she going to talk about this time? Okay. Number 1, other people's opinions. You really need to stop worrying so much about how everybody else feels about what you're doing. There's a lot of shame around this. There's a lot of shame around pivoting. There's a lot of shame around shifting your priorities, around changing your business. I mean, I've worked with so many people this year that they thought that they were on one path. And then when we started working together and they started to really dig deep into like what they actually wanted, they shifted their whole business. They changed their whole brand. And that came with a lot of criticism. That came with a lot of opinions. And what you have to realize is if people have a problem with you shifting your priorities or changing your business or redirecting or whatever it is that you're doing, if people have a problem with that, it's because they put you in a box that they felt comfortable with. And they also aren't ready to grow with you. So by you growing, they're no longer feeling superior, because when we put people in boxes, it's our way of being like, okay, well, as long as you stay in that box, then I feel really good about this. But y'all, that is not healthy for you. And ultimately, it's not healthy for them either. So you got to ask yourself, how much of your life is spent worrying about what other people are going to think of it? I mean, this is just one that, like, once you realize it, and we've all been there, but once you realize it, and once you like embody this idea of leaving people's opinions at the door, oh my gosh, like you cannot go back. Like I look at it now and it's just so silly to me that people actually don't do something because of what other people think. Like it is the most asinine thing in the whole world to me now. But I get it, because I used to be there. I used to not want to rock the boat or, make big shifts. But y'all, like, the weight of other people's opinions will weigh you down so hard that you will never find the success that you are deserving of and worthy of. And ultimately, you getting to your best version, you getting to the place where you are living the life that you absolutely freaking love, regardless of how other people feel about it, that's not just better for you, that's better for other people too, because it's going to force a shaking. It's going to force them out of their routine and out of their box as well. So number one is leave other people's freaking opinions in 2022. You don't need them. They're not serving you. I don't care who told you that they were. They're not serving you. Leave them. Leave them at the door. Okay, number two, the number two thing that you are leaving in 2022, this idea that saving is the way to wealth. Y'all, I don't know if you noticed, but we are in a really interesting time in finance, in the economy. The economy is in a really weird place. And unfortunately, people like my dude, Dave Ramsey, they'll always be on the save your money train. And like, you just can't save your way to wealth anymore. Like if you put money in a savings account, it's just depreciating. Like it's not making you any money. It's just sitting there. And the way to make money, especially moving into 2023, is to invest your money. Make your money become more money. That's the way to make more money. It's in wealth. It's in assets, right? So if you're not investing in your business, i.e. hiring a coach, investing in a mentor, like getting a team, right? Investing in employees, people that can help you. If you're not investing in good equipment, if you're a podcaster and you're still recording off of your, little iPhone or AirPods and you're like, oh, well, I'm saving money. No, invest in the good mic. The good mic is going to make your sound clearer. It's going to make more people listen to your show, which ultimately is going to grow your business. Hello. Like invest your money. Invest in that real estate. Invest in the stock market. Invest in your business. Invest in, like, I don't care what you invest in, but you cannot save your way to wealth. And anybody who's still telling you that is very much stuck in 1963 and also probably is not that wealthy, right? I'm talking about the kind of wealth where like your like assets pay for your expenses. That's the definition of financially free. Financial freedom is not just like, oh, I'm not thinking about payday. That's nice. Don't get me wrong. When I stopped waiting for payday, that was a big moment. That was a huge moment, but that is not financial freedom. Financial freedom is when you can let all of your assets pay your bills so that like any money that you make from like an income is just fun money. Right? That's financial freedom. And you can't do that by saving. Like you just can't. I'm not saying don't have a rainy day fund. I'm not saying don't have some money in the bank in case like an emergency happens. I'm saying if you're just like, oh, I'm going to save up for that. What? No. Make your money turn into other money. In 2022, we are leaving this idea that saving is the way to wealth because it's not. It's not. On that same note, this is like kind of the same, but not like. Also, in addition to like leaving saving your way to wealth at the door, you're also going to leave like the fuck the patriarchy mindset, right? Like this is not number 3. This is part of number 2. It's like a subgroup of number 2, 2A. You're not going to say that anymore. Fuck the patriarchy. The problem with the world is capitalism. Y'all, like that's never going to change. I mean, are you kidding me? Like all these people who are like trying to, talk about like getting rid of the centralized banking, like it's just never going to happen. The centralized banking system is just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And the people at the top, people with all this wealth, what we've just experienced in our world in the last 3 years is the biggest transfer of wealth that has ever happened. The rich got richer, the poor got poorer. And it's just going to continue to go that way unless you start investing money, unless you start putting your money into assets. And this idea, like fuck the patriarchy. Y'all, you want to fuck the patriarchy? Get rich. Go out and get rich. That is how you fuck the patriarchy. If you're not willing to do that, then you're just going to end up broke. Because that's the way they want you. Because if you're broke, you're controllable. And if you're controllable, then they can do whatever they want. The only way that you become unfuckwithable is if you stand in your own power and you don't need nothing from nobody, right? Goes back to number 1. You don't need people's validation. You don't need people's opinions and you don't need people's money. Invest your own. Invest your own. Number 3, the thing we are leaving in 2022 and we are not bringing with us into 2023 is hustle culture. Hustle culture. You know what I'm talking about. The kind of culture where it's like, just work. Be the first one in and the last one out. And like, work till you die. It sounds exhausting just talking about it. And I'm not saying don't work hard. I work hard. I work freaking hard all the time. I work hard. But what I don't believe in is hard, draining work. There's a difference between working hard and hard work. I don't believe work should be hard. I believe that you should work hard for the things that you want and desire. But I don't believe that it should be draining. I don't believe that you should be like, oh, I'm just in a season right now and it's really shitty, but like it's going to get better. It's not going to get better because if it's not a full body yes, it's a no. And if you're constantly saying yes to things that are not a full body yes, what you are doing is you are draining yourself of life force energy, which in turn is taking you out of your genius. It's just pulling you right out of your genius. And it is keeping you from serving the world in the way that you're meant to, or growing your business in the way that you're meant to, or living a life of abundance in the way that you are worthy of. So you gotta stop with this like toxic hustle culture, right? There's aligned hustle. I like aligned hustle, being aligned in your hustle, regulating your central nervous system. Gosh, every day you work shouldn't be like this feeling of like, but what if I don't hit my goals? But what if I don't make money? But what if nobody buys my programs? But what if nobody wants me to coach them? But what if this? What if that? It should not feel like that. Life should not feel like that. Work should not feel like that. If it feels like that, then something is out of alignment. And you are just draining yourself of life force energy. Now, I'm not saying I don't ever have fear, right? If you saw an Instagram post I posted a couple days ago, you would see this. Like, I have had very many moments during this year where I've hit my upper limit financially and I have like stressed beyond belief. And I've had to do some serious shadow work and money work in order to overcome them. Like, I'm not saying you're not going to go through the shit. What I'm saying is you are going to have to realize that that is not a regulated central nervous system. And if you just feel like that all the time, it's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel good. And it's not going to lead you to more success. The way to more success is to be aligned in your hustle, right? You shouldn't have to force whatever you do down people's throats. It shouldn't feel like that. That is not normal for it to feel like that. And it's crazy because this time 3 years ago, I was like that. I was just hustle. I always say like, I didn't know where my kid was at that time because I was trying to hit huge goals in my network marketing business. And I don't ever want to feel like that again. And it was crazy because at the time, I didn't even know that that was a problem. I had no idea that that was even an issue. I was just following what I had always been conditioned to do. And then once I snapped myself out of that over the last 3 years, most heavily in the last 18 months, I realized like, oh, that is actually no way to live. And since I've stopped doing that, and since I've been aligned in my hustle and I work really hard from an aligned full body yes place, I have become 10 times more successful than I ever could have imagined. So don't tell me it doesn't work, because it does. And ultimately, if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. Period. Tighten up your circle. You don't need to bring everybody with you, right? That goes with this like toxic hustle. Like we should just keep people, right? People, or it also goes with number one, like people's opinions. Like it's just like people that are no longer serving you. Like you don't need to bring them with you. It's okay to let go. It's okay to say, thank you so much for this chapter we had together. And now I'm moving on. This is probably like a number 4. It's a bonus thing you're leaving in 2022 is people that are no longer serving your highest good. And that doesn't mean that they once weren't. That doesn't mean that they once were, or they weren't once serving your highest good. Wow, Danielle, get it together. They probably were at some point. At a certain season in your life, at a certain point in your life, that relationship was probably really, really good for you. And it's okay that it's not anymore, because if it's not for you, then it's probably not for them either. And ultimately, you're not doing either one of you a disservice by trying to keep it. So whether that be a work relationship, a romantic relationship, a friendship, a relationship with a family member, it is okay to let go. Energetically cut the cord from anything negative attached to that relationship and move on in a positive, light-bringing way. You don't need to bring stale, stagnant relationships with you to 2023. You just don't. Okay. I hope you have the best New Year's ever. I hope you're safe. I will be celebrating on East Coast time and going to bed at about 10 p.m. So, yay. Or no, I won't, because I'm in Texas now. So I'll be celebrating at 11 p.m. I'll be going to bed at 11 p.m. At that point, I might as well just stay up. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I hope that this resonated with you. If it did, share it with someone who needs it. If you haven't had a chance to check out my website yet, I got a new website. All my courses are on there. All the ways to work with me more one-on-one are on there. Podcast is on there, DanielleMcCleary.com. Final few days to register for Launch with Power, which is my 8-week mastermind that's coming up. It's 8 weeks of me teaching you how to launch your business in a way that feels aligned and all the things we've just been talking about. So if you're launching a business, if you're scaling a business, if you want to launch a business, if you are trying to figure out how to rebrand your business, Launch with Power is for you. And we have payment plans available, and it's going to be a really great space. If you have never invested in a mastermind, like 2023 is the year to do it. Invest in a mastermind and watch your entire life shift. Watch that money that you invest come back to you 10x. Like, obviously, I can't guarantee, but I can tell you from my previous clients, like results are real when you go all in on yourself. So you can find that on the link in the show notes. You can also find that on my website under ways to work with me. It's the Launch with Power Mastermind. And obviously, if you have any questions at all, you can come find me on Instagram, Danielle_on-the-daily. Send me a DM and ask me any questions you have. But I hope you have a beautiful new year, and I'll see you next year.